What if I told you that there's a potential customer right in your backyard with a multi-million-dollar budget who literally publishes their exact shopping list for the whole world to see? Well, there is. It's your local government. And today, we're going to show you exactly how to use their public data to find your next big business opportunity. So let's pull back the curtain and show you how to read the map.
It's the big question, right? So many small and medium-sized businesses ask this. It can feel, well, super intimidating, like you need some kind of special connection or a whole team of lawyers. But what if the path to winning those contracts was a lot more straightforward than you think? What if you could get an inside look at what the government wants to buy way before you even think about writing a proposal?
That's right. The key to unlocking this massive market isn't tucked away in some secret vault. It's all publicly available, it's meticulously documented, and it's just sitting there, waiting for someone with the right strategy to come along and connect the dots.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll tackle the government contract puzzle. Then, I'll show you where to find the treasure map that's hidden in public data. We'll decode what your city actually needs, look for clues about timing and competition, and finally, put it all together to build a winning strategy you can use.
Okay, first up, the government contract puzzle. If you've ever tried to sell to a local government, you know it can feel like you're solving a puzzle in the dark. What do they need? When are they going to buy it? The whole process often feels like a total black box.
But what if we could just flick on the lights? That's exactly where public procurement data comes in. Seriously, think of it as a treasure map. Every single time a city needs to buy something, I'm talking from paper clips to paving services, they have to post a public notice. And these notices, they are an absolute goldmine of market intelligence.
So, what are we actually talking about here? It's called public procurement data. Basically, it's the official record of everything a government wants to buy, usually in the form of things called RFPs or RFQs. But the most important part is that this data is public. It is, quite literally, their shopping list.
And just look at the level of detail you get in a real request. This isn't just a vague call for an architect. No, they're spelling it out. They need someone who really gets historic preservation and knows federal standards. Right away, this tells you exactly what they're looking for and whether or not your company is a good fit.
All right, so once you have this treasure map, this data, the first step is to decode it. By sorting through hundreds of these bids and putting them into categories, you can start to see the big picture of a city's priorities. You're not guessing anymore. You're seeing exactly where the money is going.
To show you this in action, we analyzed years of bid data from the city of Fredericksburg, Virginia. Now, as you'd probably expect, a huge chunk of it is construction. But look at the other big slices of the pie: professional services, IT, even parks and recreation. There's a lot more going on here.
And when you dig into those categories, you find some really fascinating opportunities. It is absolutely not just about pouring concrete. The city needed archaeologists, branding experts, and digital media producers. They were looking for help with hiring executives, managing a swimming pool, and even conducting a huge study on homelessness. The lesson here? You've got to think broader than the obvious stuff. Your specific niche might be exactly what the city's looking for.
So, knowing what the city buys is step one. But the next level, the real pro move, is figuring out when they buy it and what the competition looks like. This is where you go from just reacting to opportunities to actually strategically anticipating them.
This timeline for audit services really helps demystify the process. Okay, so the bid gets published on January 26th. That's your starting gun. Then there's a pre-proposal meeting about 2 weeks later. That is a key date to ask questions. And then boom, the closing date on March 1st. You've got a little over a month to get everything ready. Knowing this rhythm is absolutely critical.
But here's where the real power of this data lies. When you start analyzing this stuff over several years, you find that a lot of these opportunities aren't just one-offs. They are completely and totally predictable.
For instance, check this out. Fredericksburg's pavement rehab program comes up pretty much every single year. Property reassessments, neighborhood plans, they happen on a regular cycle. So if your business is in one of these fields, you can stop waiting for bids to be posted. You can literally see them coming years in advance and get your strategy ready long before your competitors even know an opportunity is on the horizon. Of course, you also have to be realistic, and this data gives us a nice dose of that too. In our analysis of this particular data set, for every 28 contracts that were actually awarded, 12 were canceled. That means a bid was posted, but no contract was ever signed. This can happen for all sorts of reasons. Budgets change, priorities shift. It's just a valuable reminder that not every single opportunity is going to cross the finish line.
Okay, so we found the map, we've decoded the clues. Now for the most important part. Let's turn all of that intelligence into a concrete, winning strategy. It really all comes together in this 4-step action plan. First, identify your niche, and I mean really get specific. Remember the archaeologists and branding experts? Find where your unique skills meet their specific, proven needs. Second, track the timeline. This is where you use those predictable patterns, like that annual paving contract. You anticipate them and prepare months ahead of time. Third, analyze past bids. Most cities also publish who won previous contracts. Go study those winning proposals. See what success looks like. And finally, step 4, prepare a tailored proposal. With all this intel, you're not guessing anymore. You can craft an offer that speaks directly to their history, their needs, and their schedule, which gives you a huge competitive edge.
You know, when you strip away all the jargon and complexity, it really boils down to a pretty simple idea. Your local government is a customer, a very, very big customer. And the best part? They make their shopping list public for anyone to read. You just have to know where to look and how to read it.
The methods we've walked through today using data from just one city in Virginia can be applied to almost any city or county out there. The information is available, so the only question left to ask is, what amazing business opportunities are hiding in your town's public data?